in the news, for example, there was a report on the Earth's core. Apparently, it stopped spinning, and scientists is claiming that every 70 years it does that and it reverses itself. But we know that it's more than that. We know that the energies and the evolution of the change that is about to take place, it's a part of that. It's a part of the universal energy of mother, father, creator, as you want to put it, because everybody has their belief system. But for me, it's an energy, it's a superior energy that that is all of us together. That is, your ancestors, the energies that were here before. We don't go away. We just transform into something else. Okay, so when we talk on the astrology, it's really energies, or characteristics of energies. Just like when we talk about Christ, it's a characteristics of the energy that we seek to save ourselves, to have salvation, to be renewed, to come alive. Because, and I say those words on purpose, because in the system we're not considered alive. We're considered lost at sea, dead, salvage, if you may. And over the length of this program, we've been explaining it and giving you analogies. We are from one source, and we're here to have an experience. And the analogy was the ocean, right? Remember in the beginning of the program, we have you imagine that the ocean waves come in. Someone is having an experience in the sand. There's a hole, and the water goes in, and the rest of the ocean wave goes back. Does that mean you're no longer a part of the ocean, that water that fills up that hole? Right? So are we, because we're having an experience in this body, in this physical body here on earth, does that mean we're not part of the Creator? That's basically what it is, right? So how do we get back to our divine knowledge, our divine self, and how do we manifest? Because we created what we see. It's our thoughts and our actions that create this. So if your thoughts are negative, whatever is going on in your world is going to be negative. If like I've had people who want to learn this stuff, they know there's something wrong, but they don't want to do the work, right? So often they would say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. When you finish doing what you're doing, it really has nothing to do with the other person. It's you. It's at your level. And once you've discovered who you truly are, you're attaining that knowledge will get you to whatever crown you desire, because you've done the work, right? So not everyone has that ability, or maybe not even the desire to be truly free, because you have to free your mind first in order to acquire freedom, like true freedom. So if there is any doubt or any stigma as to what people think who should be able to have this freedom, as is known, freedom for a lot of people is having money to go wherever they want to go. And what is money really? That's the question too. I think on one of my programs I did read the definition of money and currency, and basically our energy is currency. So we have to take away what we already know in order to grow. You cannot continue in this new era of freedom if you keep all the things that you were taught or made to believe. So that people who want to be in power, because it's about control and power, right? So those people who want to be in control and power over you have to have you believe certain things. And prior to this system, when we are now finding out so many things, we didn't call ourselves the names that we're called. You know, we didn't do the things that we're doing today. We knew how to heal ourselves. We knew how to travel without, these heavy polluting equipment. We travel literally by vibrations, by, I'm not going to get into that right now, but there is information that shows that we were at higher being. So because we have awareness of vibrations and how to create vibrations with the resources on the land, like the gold, the silver, the crystals. And again, like I said on the last program, this is why we were not taught about those things. We were taught that those things are witchcraft-free. And when you read the Bible, it's nothing more but the same thing, but they dumb it down a little bit. It talks about astrology, and the Christ they're talking about is exactly what I'm talking about, but then it's termed in another way to make you believe that it's something outside of you, right? So part of your freedom and to discover how to live freely as a sovereign being is to know exactly who you are, to know and remember your skills, your talents, what you did prior to being here in the now, prior lifetimes. And I know I have prior lifetimes. I know that. I've seen it. I've experienced it. When you dream, you think it's just a dream. It isn't. It's either a memory or something, because really there's no time. So sometimes people think you're dreaming of something that's about to happen, but everything is happening at the same time, but in different dimensions. And as the awakening is happening, you feel and know instinctively whether something is correct or not, because we're at a point where the veil is thinning out, that we're literally communicating without through the spiritual contacts, really, without picking up a phone and calling. That information is reaching each other. As soon as somebody learns something, it connects to someone else who is at the same vibration, and they instinctively know that what this information they got, whether you want to call it downloads or spiritual message, that's what it is. Okay, so in the Bible and in other religions, people use things like Holy Spirit and all these different things, but we didn't call it that. I remember my grandmother used to get up and she'd she'd talk about somebody that lives way up in the hills. And I said, I want Tanty so-and-so to pass today because I have something to give her. And by the end of that day, that lady would have passed by. That was before the telephones and everything. Because our thoughts, our wishes, that's the higher power. When we talk of God, the Creator, we are part of that. So we are creating our world through our thoughts. So make sure it's a good thought, right? So my thoughts is that we are all connecting, and that we're creating the community that is our savior. The community, because once everyone is at a level of understanding who they are, that is heaven. And now they know what role they're going to play in this particular community, because everybody has talents. Everybody has multiple talents, multiple skills, because of the experience we came prior in different timelines, or whatever you want to call it, prior, but I'll just call it timelines, because whether it's happening now or it's happening based on the earth timing, whatever, in the past or in the future, it all happens now. So we have multiple experiences. And when you think, even in this timeline, when you are younger, all the things you've done, all the things you've experienced, experience, all the things you've learned, and now don't feel less because when they tell you to get a job, you have to have this skill, that skill, and that skill. I predict that all of that will be a thing of the past because it does not represent our abilities. We are powerful ancient beings that return here to have this moment change. To have this change. Think about that. Everybody think there's going to be this big catastrophe change, but no, the change, the catastrophe, really what you're thinking about is that our mind implodes on the falsehood, like we just let it go. Earlier I had a meditation, and I should have done a little meditation when I started, so let's do that now. It's just breathing in and just releasing. You breathe in the ideas, the love, the community, breathing in and releasing the stress, the worry, the illnesses, the pain. You release it. Whatever you may think you have, you release it. You let it go. Inhale healing, love, community, balance, peace. Feels wonderful. And now I release all the worries. I release the burdens of rent and taxes and bills and all of that. I release that. I am at a point where I don't even think of these things anymore. They don't exist in my world anymore because I am at the awareness where I know that is an illusion. Right? Yes, you may say there's a piece of paper in front of you that says this, but when you come to your knowing and know that that is not you, and the information that I put out will assist you in how to handle it. You need to know who you are. You are a living, breathing woman or man, flesh and blood. The paper has a name that looks like you. It looks like your name, but it is not you. It's a piece of paper. It is an assumption that it is your likeness. But does it have oxygen? What are we made of? Huh? What are we made of, folks? We have oxygen, water. Wow, beautiful. Sometimes even when you think you haven't drank enough water for the day, you have saliva, you can maintain yourself until you refresh that, right? So how could a piece of paper dictate itself as you? How can somebody claim that is you? Right? How can you know you come from a higher, powerful source? Right? Where did you come from? Who created you? When all of this event happened, right? When I say event, you guys know what I'm talking about. The plan, the events that told you had to do this and you had to do that. The biggest question I asked them was, is this your body? Is this your body? Are you my creator? Right? Now, they keep saying, like, if you have to go and get something done, oh, we need proof of your ID. And I really have to go over this, folks. All the time I have to go over this. I need proof of your identification. Now, if I'm standing in front of you and I'm taking in your love and your presence and your beautiful energy, wow, I am right there. I am presented in front of you. That is my ID, my flesh and blood, the DNA. How then are you expected to have a photo of this beautiful being. That's it. The only other thing, like I said, is if you know someone or two people who knows you since you were born, presented next to you, all this is my neighbor. He's known me since I'm 2 years. And this is my other neighbor, known me since I'm, 6 years. That's my, certification of who I am. And again, those were certification, IDs, all of that is made to create the illusion of someone else being in charge, right? That is in the physical, that is. But who's in charge? It's all of you, which includes all of the energies that's around you. The Mother Earth, the solar system, the cosmos, because you are related to it. We are related to the land. Okay? We are related to the land. And you can look that up. You could look up what land is. Or you could look up organic or aboriginal people or indigenous people. Going to say they have a relationship with the land. Right? We are just like I have a relationship with my mother. That's my mother. So is the land. Motherland, motherboard, mother. Now, how could anything outside of that be responsible for you? That earth that gives you life, that helps to maintain your life, I should say, and helps to maintain your life while you're in this body. And then we choose to use other process items to put in our system, because that creates another way of creating the so-called currency or money, because the money is really, it doesn't have value until we go after it. So if we're constantly looking for, if we just stop and start being who we are, how far can this thing go? And a lot of people is unplugging. This is why they're saying that it's inflation and this and that, because there is no money and it's creating debt. Because each time you do accept or consent to a contract, and I'll give an example of a contract without you knowing it's a contract. Okay? Let's just read something about contract law, first of all, before I go to that. It says, contract law. A contract is a legally enforceable agreement between two or more parties. Now, did you agree to be a slave? Anybody could put their hands up if they agree to be a slave. Did you, my audience, did you agree to be a slave when you were born? Did you speak up when you came out and they created the birth certificate? Did you sign that birth certificate and say, okay, I'm going to be a slave? Yeah, I'm going to do my funny voice because I think the whole thing is funny. So, did you agree? Because a contract, it says a contract is a legal enforceable agreement. Now, what is the meaning of agreement? The two parties have to agree. They have to consult and see that it is equally beneficial. It cannot be one way, folks. Were you given all of the information, the full disclosure of all of these so-called IDs and informational number associated with your likeness of name? Because again, most of they might even put it upper lowercase, but they cannot do business unless it is done in the all caps. Your bank account, everything, the statement, it's all caps. You're gonna be very interesting to know that what is considered a bank. A bank is not just the ones that marked up bank. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a bank. The grocery store is a bank. Anyone, any corporation that is doing exchange is considered a bank. But we are officially the real bank, because without us having the economy or the economics, the true ecosystem, there is no banking. All right. So let me continue where it says that. I'm going to start that again. Contract law. A contract is a legal enforceable agreement between two or more parties. This chapter presents a discussion of the elements of this statement in order to provide a general appreciation of the legal significance of entering into administering a contract. So this is, I got this from, it says Northern Territories Public Works and Services, right? Which as you know, folks, I'm in Montreal, Canada. There was a lot of snow, but it's funny. I always feel hot because I'm Aries, so I am a fire sign. So I'm always on fire. It doesn't bother me. I went outside today. It was a breeze. I walked, and a lot of people laugh. Oh, how is the weather? Oh, it's great. So whatever I say it is, it is. I'm creating my world. Okay? So the nature of a contract. To be legally enforceable, an agreement must contain all of the following criteria, right? An offer and acceptance. Now, the offer is every time they send you a bill. That's an offer. An offer. You decide if you agree with it or not, but you didn't know that, right? But you assumed that this is the way things are and you have to agree with it, right? So in a contract, just like when we decide we're going to do business, we have to negotiate, right? It's the same thing when those bills come in. Now, who has the power of the negotiation? It's only you, because you have, by birthright, rights to all resources on the land. A corporate entity like Vinlec or Hydro-Quebec or what, those are impersonation of a person, because they said they're a legal person. They're in an all caps name and they're referred to as a legal person. But there's also a natural person, which is a persona of you as well, which is part of your outcome. But you have also the living being. The natural person is the consumer that uses the all caps to create the contract. But again, you have to have consent. You have to agree, or you can make changes to the terms that they're sending you. So whatever it is that comes in your mailbox or comes to you on a piece of paper, it's an offer. A flyer is an offer. You can take it or not. You know? So it says, so it has to be an offer and acceptance. Okay, certainty of terms. So certainty of terms, what is that to you? You have to be certain of the terms of the contract. Are you certain of the terms of the contract of the birth certificate or the driver's license or whatever it is? Are you certain that you need a driver's license? Are you carrying passengers when you travel? Those are the terms we're talking about. Now, consideration. Now, when someone offered me something, I can say, okay, you know what? Let me just look it over and I'll get back to you in 30 days or whatever. Give me some time to go over this. Did you have that? As a baby, leaving the hospital, did they tell you, or did he even tell your mother this? All right? Let's go on. The other one is an intention to create legal relations, right? So what is legal? Right? What is legal? Is it law? That's a question, right? Legal or legalese, is it law? Now, I spoke about this before, and I think I give the example before. I don't have it in front of me, but I know I have done it before. But, you know, these are things of homework you can do. Look up legal and look up law and see the difference. Look, you know, there's diction. Everything now is available online. Recently, everything is open up. The other day, I have a couple of sewing machines, and one of them I lost. Between the stuff I was going through, I lost the manual. And I tried to find that manual before online in PDF, and it wasn't available. As a matter of fact, they were offering to sell it. But now, everything you look up now is available free. I don't know if it's just for me. I don't know if it's because of the work I'm doing. I don't know. So if you guys could verify that, but I'm telling you, anything I look for now, I get books, I get all kinds of stuff. Bam, bam, bam. But I still have some people say they can't find it, and then I would send them the link. But however, for me, I start typing and it pops up, whatever it is I'm looking for. So I looked up that particular sewing. It was a serger, because I forgot how to adjust certain things, and I found the manual, and I just printed out the pages that I need. That's it, and I put them in a folder, and I create little books like that. When I need certain things, I take out certain things. I don't take the whole book. Sometimes I download the book to have on the computer, but important stuff like contract law or something like that, I would print it out for my research and for the work that I'm doing. So let's just continue. Went off a little bit there, but you need to do some of your work yourself too, because that's part of the ascension. You're going to raise yourself. It's I self law and master, or I self law and master. And master, I'm attaining my masters by doing this program. I'm researching, I'm doing the work, I'm actually going and doing and sending in letters. I'm mastering myself. I am taking control of my own destiny. So, when you go from I'm the student and the teacher at the same time. So we all have that ability. We all have that potential. We all have an area that we can assist in our communities. So this is part of We Heal Nations. It's a community that creates community. When we heal, then we can go and discover and do. Simple. And I know it sounds like, what's she talking about for a lot of people? But think about it. We need to heal. We went through an awful lot. They've been hiding this stuff from us for years, especially those people in the islands who are really the authentic people. Because the more and more I get the information of what really happened, those areas from Trinidad along going to St. Vincent, Barbados, all of there was the Atlantis, part which included the Americas too, all going up the Americas, the Virgin Islands, all of there, okay? And so we use all of the lands, including reaching Britain, the islands, the north, like Britain and all of those, all of that were dark-skinned people originally before 10,000 years, okay? But we've been around for millions of years. Just we keep coming back in different forms, and they keep changing the names of who we are, who they think we are. Now, we know who we are. We don't need anyone to tell us who we are. We're not black. We're not colored. We're not Negro. We're not Caribbean. We're not Vinci. We're not Trinidadian. We are ancient peoples. Okay? Now, when you get that confidence that where you came from, it becomes easier. And I want you to be successful. I want the people who are listening to be successful, because my prediction is, and it's not about money, folks. It's not about money. My prediction is very soon there will be no more worries about money, finances, or whatever. Very, very soon. Sooner than you think. Because this is what I am manifesting. This is what I am manifesting. It's not a selfish thing for me. If it was a selfish thing, I would not have bothered. Trust me. I would not have bothered. But this has been me since I was a little girl. And if I tell you some of the stories that I think back and I said, boy, people may have called it brave, but I said, wow, girl, you were crazy to do that or to go there or whatever. But I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking it's something I needed to do. When I see people like on the bus provoking someone just because they're Asian or whatever, I mean, there was a lot of fights I got into, and that's the people who knew me or know me still now, They know, and they would say, "Oh, you had a temper." It wasn't that I had a temper. I just did not like to see anybody being taken for granted, and it still stands. I haven't changed. So, for me, everybody, everybody should be able to experience and have fun in the areas they live. Like, for example, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the native, the true native, and don't tell me nothing about Africa or whatever. All over the land is your land, folks. And you should be able to, if you want to have a experience with a speedboat, to go to all the island hopping and experience having an enjoyable day without provocation or discrimination because of the color of your beautiful melanin. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen in the next era, in this era. It's not going to happen. Who don't like it, they need to leave the planet. Yeah? Yeah, that's what I said. Who don't like if we come to kind of want and start taking up those residences, leave the planet. Who don't like when we go over to what do you call it there? Oh Lord. Anywhere. Palm Island, Mustique especially, because most of the people who are involved in all of the crookery and corruption, that's where they're seated. And we need to do a cleansing, a complete cleansing of those 32 islands. You hear how much? 32? 5. 5 is a powerful number. And when we get together and we go and have our sage and sage out that nastiness that's going over the water, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have our healing for the people of the land. Okay? And those who want to come and enjoy with us, they're welcome. I don't care what part of the world you're from, but you have to know the rules are changing. Tell them I say so, and tell them that my mama tell me to tell all you so. That's Mama Earth, the universe. Okay? So, let's go on. Other offer and acceptance, right? A contract cannot come into existence until an offer has been made by one party and accepted by another party. I never remember ever telling anybody I accept to be their slave. All right? And I never ever accept to be discriminated against from having a $25 million property. I don't remember ever doing that. Okay? An offer is a tentative promise made by one party. The offerer, because there's a print clear. The offerer, subject to a condition or containing request to the other party, the offeree. So now, if you're offering me and I decide, no, you got to change this part because I don't like that part and it's not working out for me because for example, if somebody send you an offer to come to a gym, like up here they have the Jewish Y, they call it, right? And they have a week offer for free. Now, if I decide, they're taking my information, remember, right? If I decide that I don't want a week, I want the whole year for free. And my autograph, my energy is the payment. Yes, folks, that's what it is. Oh, yes. You didn't know that, eh? Yeah, so your autograph, when you know how to do it, is the payment. And once I, give you the acceptance of my credit to be used as you are the provider or the public servant, because all companies or corporations are under the corporation of the country, right? All countries are a corporation, so they are public servants as well. So when you decide you're going to register your company under these things, when you, if you know, still, even when you're getting this information, let me let you know that you're offering as a public servant. You cannot be both. You cannot serve both two masters. Is either you're the master or they're the master. Which one is it for you? Are you mastering yourself, or you're allowing yourself? Are you mastering slavery? Ask yourself that. Okay. So, an offer. Okay, let's continue. Sorry. When the offeree accepts the offer by agreeing to the condition or request, the offer is replaced by a contract. So this is how it becomes a contract. Like, for example, when people send you something in the mail and you never reply because you're scared, even if you didn't open it, they assumed that it is a contract because they already prepared it, right? All those insurance policies, etc. You don't know what's really going on there. Did you read everything? Did you negotiate? No. But that's an instrument. All right? The promise is no longer tentative. The offerer is bound to carry out this or her promise while the offeree is bound to carry out the condition or request. So if you did not rebut any of these things, the assumption is whatever they put in that contract, and you don't know because you didn't read it, or in that offer, it's legit. It stays. Because even when these people offer you a week free, right? They may have already paid for the whole year or using an instrument to create a payment for a whole year. And then on top of that, asking you to pay if you want to continue. It's the same for the phone. It's the same for anything. Amazon, all of that. Same thing. So I hope that clears up a lot of stuff, you know. I could go on and speak a little bit more about like the certainty of terms and all of that, but you know, it's an intent. You have to have okay, let's read about the intent to create a legal relationship, right? An agreement must be deliberate or seriously intended to be enforceable so that it is understood that in the event of a breach of obligation, speaking of which, there's a breach of obligation already because they did not tell you anything about the contract of the birth certificate, or you know what St. Vincent and the Grenadines really means when you have that flag, you know, that you're not on your land, they took away your land, they took away your rights to the land, you know, all of that. So there's already a breach right there. So I don't even like, you know, so in essence, you have the power right now. Okay, folks, you have the power right now. That's what it is. So it's up to you to take action. All right? Action. And Congress give a lot of things to assist us. And people think the Congress, I don't know what it is about my people that are dwelling on this little island, St. Vincent, that they think that St. Vincent is like a whole zone by its own, like it's not connected to anything. And no matter how much information you show them, that I'm not saying everybody's like this, but the little things that is just focused on every day, the little talk about the same people over and over, forgetting that they're only a little tiny piece of tiny piece of the whole picture. Understand? The rest of the world, what you do have access to, that you can live if you choose, once you get your information of who you really are. You don't have to stay on that land, that part of the land, because the entire land is your birthright, which all the Virgin Islands, I mean, I'm not saying to go get up and go, but what I'm saying, you have rights to, if you choose, and you have to do certain things in advance. So it's not asking um, to be an immigrant. You're not an immigrant. When you're aware of who you are, you'll see that you have freedom to dwell anywhere on the land, because that's your birthright. Okay? So, right now, the energies that are coming in is to help you to achieve your dreams. And when I say dreams, it's your thoughts. So if your thoughts are negative or feeling like you lack, okay, it's whatever you put out is what's going to come back at you. So you do not lack anything. Okay? You do not even lack knowledge. All you need to do is connect and get it. You do not lack it. It's just a matter of saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm open to receive everything. I'm open to receive abundance in wealth, in health, in knowledge, in wisdom. I am open to receive it now. And all your divine guides, you're open now. You're opening it like a portal to receive from your ancestors, from everybody who supports you. The energies, the past energies, they're around you. They don't go away. They don't go away, folks. Those little voices, when I say voices, it's like, for example, the other day, I had this shower. I wasn't a shower. I soaked in the tub. I had this beautiful, hot, steamy, with sea salts and oils and flowers and all of that stuff. No, that time I didn't have the flowers, but the time before I had the flowers. This time I was kind of lazy to go and get the flowers and drop it in the tub. Okay? But I did have all the other stuff, and I soaked in the tub, and I was feeling so good and relaxed. And I did my words. I spoke to the water, and I put my head onto the water. I did all my confirmations, and I'm saying I'm open. And I got up out of the tub feeling really good. When I lie down on the bed, and the mistake I made, my ancestors kind of reminded me. I picked up the phone, folks. Yes, I did. I picked up the phone. And guess what happened? When I lie back with the phone, it fell right on my mouth. I have a little red spot on the mouth. And I started to see one of my ancestors smiling, like in my mind's eye. And like they were laughing. They were having a good time, because they were like saying, good for you. You just got a good relaxation and you want to pick up the fat phone. That's basically what I heard. Like, you get these kind of things. We all do. Like, so embrace it. Like, be open to receive. And I received it, and I said, okay, thank you. Yes, I should have never picked up the phone. I should have just continued in that spirit and, just open to receive whatever you're sending me so I can do this program tonight, So, when you're off. When you're off, because the things come to you in your mind, or you have a memory of your grandmother or something what happened when you did that. Something comes back. This is what it means, that you to be connected and to respect and honor it. Honor your ancestors, and your days shall be long. Like one of the thing that happened to me, I mentioned in the program. I always walk the same street up and down all the time, and then one day something just told me walk another way, and lo and behold, there was an incident on that street. Later on, when I found there was an incident, these are the kind of things. If you're taken away with all the other distractions, like the programming on television, and the programming in church, and the programming in the neighborhood, and the programming, all these programmings to distract you, you're not going to be able to receive it. And if you start to study this thing to free yourself, a lot of people make the mistake that they plug into they're not researching the energies. They're not making sure they protect their energy. Like, so you plug into all these people that are bringing information and stuff, and you're not doing your own discernment, you're not doing your spiritual baths, you're not doing all of that, and you get confused, you don't know where you're going. And it's like if your ancestors are not with you, because nothing you do is working, right? So you have to be aware of this. You have to be more tuned in, you know, and respect that there is more than the physical, and then there's more than just the money, and more than just the, you know, getting popular and stuff like that. Or, you know, and you have to water your garden. Like, for those who are supporting you, I send positive vibrations all the time. Even when I'm not on the program, I send it out to all, you know, who reached out to me. I send it out. I send out, you know, gratitudes and all of that, and also share whatever you got. You know, sometimes I don't have a lot, and I still share it. Whatever I have, I share. You know, the time that I spend to research and get this understanding, it's worth a lot to a lot of people. I know people who's paid a lot of money, and I started spending money to get information, and until I realized, no, I don't think we should be doing this. It's not in alignment with what I'm doing, and I don't believe in that, and I'm not going to charge anybody either. What we can do though is trade our energies, or trade something, you know. So it's unfair that you feel you can live off of somebody else's energy when we're all seeking the same thing. It just doesn't feel right. It's just not right. You know, so that's where I'm coming from. And trust me, I am firm on it, and it works for me. And you know, I am blissful and blissful for it. I'm blessed. I get help. Things come to me, and I find everything I need just comes to me just doing this. Sometimes I don't pay for anything. It just comes. Somebody would offer it to me, or bring me something, bring me a gift. There's always gifts, you know, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful for it. And again, I put it towards what I'm doing. Like, you know, if someone does treat me with like whatever, to me, I don't see the fiat dollars as any value, so I transform the energy to something. So if they give me that, I will then buy a crystal or something, or you know, some kind of bracelet or pearl, because I know it has energy in it that is worthwhile for me to do the work, to keep doing the work. It supports my energy. So something which is not value, the fiat dollar, which is like, you know, the money that's the so-called money that I call it, has no value right now. That's why people think things are going up, but really there's no value in the money. And more than that, it's really an illusion. Like, if not everybody would get that, but if you do more of the studying, you will get what I'm saying. It's an illusion, folks. It really is. And as soon as we all come to see that, everything will just change. Your life will change. And it will be so much easier. And we have to go back to just being a good assistant, a good neighbor, a peaceful, loving neighbor, and be an assistance to someone when they need it, you know, out of the kindness of your heart. Like my grandma used to say, kill them with kindness, you know. I truly believe that. So we're gonna go for a break, and come back and take another half an hour and close out. So I hope you're enjoying the program, and you know, do research on everything. Like, read the letters, any contract, even these applications or contract. It's an offer. It's an offer. Your information is being used. So you have to be aware of what you truly want. You can negotiate anything. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Vincent and the Grenadines Mysteries, and the regional winner in the Commonwealth Short Story Prize 2022. And here is an excerpt from Cassie P. I should be at home, writing up my reports on a blessed Sunday. But where am I instead? Settling domestic disputes? Up, let me show you what I do to those who make me miss my Sunday meal. Cassie P is available online.
According to environmentalist Dr. Andrew Simmons of SVG in his book Impacts of Climate Change on Young People in Small Island Communities, climate change action must prepare young people with new skills.
Have you tried SVG's finest wines from Dave Roots? Dave Roots offers Noonie wine, tamarind wine, obis, and wine from fruits and herbs. 10% alcohol by volume. So when you're looking for the finest local wines, look for Dave Roots. Contact them at 784-593-1564 for more information.
Lefebvre Green. Fantastic drink is now available in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's the few reviews. It is antioxidant enriched. It promotes cleansing of the digestive tract, contributes to liver, kidney, and heart health, and contains cardioprotective properties. For more information on Lefebvre Green, call 529-5339. That's 529-5339.
Spectre Plus announces its expanded internet coverage in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have two special packages, which are our LTE fixed internet as low as $79.99 per month, and our fiber fixed internet as low as $89.99 per month.
Join your host, Ross Pishai, for Stepping Into the Light every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at The Hill Online Radio and Concordia Radio. Ross Pishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibration. When in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping Into the Light with host Ross Pishai.
To call into the Hills News Network, the number to dial is 1-782-529-8518.
Greetings, divine light. I am Fawn, a divine being, having an experience on earth for the one infinite creator, which is the I Am. Join me on this Tuesday and every Tuesday on www.KHealNewsNet for We Heal Nations, where we discuss healing through finding out truth and accepting it, loving and celebrating everyone and everything that we do, regardless of how small or how big. Peace and love. Join me for enlightenment.
To call into the Hills News Network, the number to dial is 1-782-529-8518.
Okay, so we're back. I'm going to want to let you listen to this.
Inner core may have paused, and it could even go into reverse. This sounds really bad to me. Let's just get to Davo and get to it.
Let's just get on Mars and be done with this, right? No. Okay, so at this point, folks, this is not something cataclysmic. This is not a big deal, but I want to get into it. Let's talk about the inner core first. Okay, humans, we live on the crust. We're in the crust. Then there's the mantle. Then there's the outer core. Then there's the inner core. So way deep down inside, we're talking, Russell, about 3,200 miles below the surface. Okay, this is the deep inner core. It is made up mostly of iron and nickel. Okay, so it's a very dense, hard core. You got a question? No. Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
So with that, it's got a radius of 2,200 miles. So I want you to think of the Earth's inner core, maybe the size of Pluto. Okay, so it's small, but it's very dense and very compact. How did they measure this? That was the first question somebody asked me. How do they know? Well, what they do is they measure earthquakes. What earthquakes do is they send reverberations and they send seismic waves straight through the Earth. So they're able to travel and follow those earthquakes into the inner core, and they realize that the inner core of the earth spins differently than what we're kind of standing on. So then they started to say, okay, and they started to narrow down how does it spin differently, and they're noticing that over the past 20 or 30 years, that inner core, that little iron nickel ball, is just slowing down. And they're saying what they think this is something that just happens every 70 years. Every 7 decades, the inner core slows down, and then it reverses. And then 70 years, it slows down again, and it reverses back. The only thing they don't know at this point is what, if any, minute impact it's having on, say, the length of our day or the magnets, the magnetism of our Earth. Right. So I want you to think about it this way. X-rays were invented in 1895. What do you think that first X-ray looked like, Russell? It was probably pretty weak looking, right? Sure. You might say, okay, we can see inside, but we don't know what we're really seeing. It's the same thing for NASA right now. They can see inside the Earth. They can see that this core is slowing down, but it's very fuzzy to them, so they don't have a good picture of it. So they're going to continue to have to work on it because they're wondering if it does reverse, is that going to change the poles? Is that going to change the spin of the Earth? Right now they're saying no. They're thinking this is just something the Earth has done, and they're just now discovering it. So don't worry about anything crazy happening if this thing slows down or not. It may have some impact, very minute, but they just can't figure it out yet.
So what you're saying, though, is if this is all true, what you're saying, and this theory is correct, it's happened before, it's happened a lot, and we're all still here.
That's the point. If this indeed happens every 7 decades, and the Earth hasn't completely blown up yet, I don't think it's going to happen.
The only thing I would ask you, and we won't know that answer, is 70 years ago we didn't have the technology we have now, and the technology would be affected by it.
That's why all the earthquakes that we have moving forward, Russell, are going to really play into this because they can follow them through the Earth and then get more definitive or just more data in general on what's happening with that big iron ball inside. But nothing to be concerned about, everybody. Just something kind of cool that we can actually project now.
All right, thank you.
So, as my buddy Trump says, fake news. Now they're spinning it off as this thing, but I don't believe that because, again, NASA has not been very credible over the years. Things are coming out about NASA. What was they say about the acronym? Not always scientifically aligned. I don't know. But for me, my interpretation is that as within, or as without, so within, we are in the same alignment as the Earth. And right now we are reversing everything. We are no longer accepting the agreement of the slavery or peonage on Earth. And Mother Earth is just, assisting us. So she's turning things around in that plane as well. So everything is going to come back into the original alignment. That's my interpretation of it. And things has to just go back to its original. Simple. So, again, thanks Trump for the fake news comments. I now have an understanding of why you always said that. But not everybody's at that level, right? So you have to do your research again. So if we have a relationship to the Earth, then all the things that is happening is because we are awakening. It's because that we are aligning with our higher selves and putting things back in place according to the laws of nature. So there you go. I'm not a scientist, but I am part of the science. I am a woman and I am here in the physical, but I was here for millions of years prior. As above, so below. As within, so without. Yeah, so folks, in order to move into this new vibration, this powerful higher vibration, we need to walk away from, and lovingly do it, from things that no longer serve you. all the belief systems and stuff. They haven't served you. So why are you still holding on to them? And holding on to them is like taking baggages and you could barely move, right? So, they're old energies. They're old energies that were low vibrational. We want high vibrational energy, and holding on to lies or things that does not add up to what you're actually seeing in right now in this time. You can see the whole system falling apart. You can see it. It's not hidden. You can see the lie with the pandemic, as they call it. You can see it. You can see the results happening right now. It's happening. So is it serving you to go to these doctors to be doctored? Is it serving you? Right? Like, I saw this advertising, and they do it all the time. They just advertise that they need blood for a person. Well, do you ask the question, why do they need the blood? And there's only a certain amount of occasion or emergency why you need blood. It's either a blood disease person or a serious injury, where they're cutting into you. But today there's so much new technology that you don't need all of that blood. So when I see that they're posting and saying that the people who have came so far, they don't match, it does not make sense to me. You should know what you're asking for and who, for whom, and why. To me, it's like another roll call to get information, because people think there's not already a digital currency. There is. What do you think credit cards are? And giving your information, they have all your, I've done it, but now that I see my wrongs and I'm correcting it, I'm asking them to remove my private information from your public stuff. Because when you give your blood, anything you give, your urine, whatever, that's digitalized. Okay, they connect it to you. Why do you need it? I mean, like that incident with the poor little boy that passed away after 3 months in the hospital. That would never happen in the times of my grandmother. I'm saying it straight out. Because the amount of people have knowledge of what to do right away, the herbs, and how to get rid of any, first of all, we had to, before school, get washed out. You had to get washed out, you had to get spiritual baths, you had to get bush bath, all kind of baths before you start school. Knock out, warm out, or you beat out, whatever, sop out what. So if a child comes down with something and after 1 week have not recovered, the whole village would have already been assisting with something that they have, something they know, some knowledge they know, or send the village person who is well equipped with the knowledge to make that right. All right? That's what I say. The community failed. It ain't no party. So that's another thing that we need to let go that does not serve us. Does it serve you? This party color thing, the yellow and the green and the red and the blue. Does it serve you? How does it serve you? How has it served you in the last 50 years? Does it serve you in this time? Does a hospital, you gotta look up the word hospice. Does it hospital and giving your information freely to anybody who come and say they're a doctor, does that serve you? How does it serve you? Does it serve you? Does the school serve you? Apprenticeship, that serves you. Apprenticeship was in the day, it's still going, but it's not as strong as it was. But that school system, does it serve you? Does it serve you, folks? Okay? Those cruise ships that come in, those big ugly things that block up your sea, there's no fishing, whatever. Does it serve you? Does the market in town serve you? What about the communities? You need community market or community exchange services amongst your people. But I know that that system is not serving you, because there's constant complaints and quarrels and stuff. It's not serving you. If there's arguments and fights and confusion, it's not serving you. Does the poor relief serve you? Listen to the words. Poor relief. The only thing I see really that's poor is the poor thinking. That to think that having a party list of poor relief residents, as they call you when you are divine nine-eater beings that just forgot who they are. And how come they didn't teach this revolution? They didn't teach you that about contracts. Huh? Does that serve you? Does that serve you? Tough questions, right? Now, if we start being guided again by our hearts, right? And seeking out to evolve our higher self, our higher being, mastering ourselves by being the best and highest potential that we are with each other within the community, right? And learning how to organize and prioritize every aspect of our communing, if you want to call it, right? I think that's the garden that you want to water. I think that's the energy you want to put to produce a better community, a more productive community. Because I don't think separating by color and this and that, it hasn't served you for how long. And I know there are people with memories of how wonderful it was on that land before. I have memories, and I'm only in my 50s. Too many have used the rum, and we need to do something about the distillery and create other drinks or other things that's going to help sustain this new body that's created with these energies. You cannot put these kind of poisons in this beautiful body and still reach your fullest potential. There's a time and place for everything. Yes, maybe there's some distillery, but we maybe need to sit down and think, do we need to continue? Does it serve us? Does the brewery serve us? How does it serve us? If they're making so much millions, and yet people, a little boy cannot be saved, cannot be diagnosed. Who and what are we? What have we become? That we prioritize having a beautiful distillery with the best rum on earth and all this kind of stuff. But we can't save our children. That's pathetic, folks. And we boast about how beautiful a paradise this place is. And not one of the natives can go to Cana One and have a beautiful experience on their own flipping land. Or to Mustique. You know that all that thing is fraud? You know those, when I read you that contract, doesn't that tell you that all of that is unlawful? Huh? That's what I'm going to leave you with today. And what are you going to do about it now that you know? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to get up and get that flag again and jump up like an idiot and Vinci, I Vinci, I Vinci? Huh? And so goes, and so it goes. And you're going to have let them continue to choose these so-called ambassadors who love to jump up with the flag and call that culture. Is that your culture on your land? Is that your culture, peeps? Sometimes I get too emotional, right? But it's emotion that brought me here. It's emotion that brought you here. I'm hoping it is. But we need to take action now. We need to demand and to be the change. And to be the change, you need to reset your mind. Just like the reset that's coming. And I know it's going to be very soon. And the world is going to be so surprised when these little islands with the beautiful ancient people who have so much potential to shine. And you're already the wealthiest people on earth, folks. Don't let them call you no poor relief set of people. Don't let them make you go beg. Learn how to be. And I'm offering it for free. With all my heart. I love you guys. Peace and love. Until next week, with more and more and more action to come. We heal nations all over this land. I'm signing out. Love you.